So do you want to start anywhere very specific, or should we just work in from what you've said?
Just whatever you're getting, like
Just
you know,
saying
our
specific questions usually make it easy if you have a specific question, but if you just want to know more, then we can go there.
I want to know if I'm going to have more like conspicuous open contact anytime soon. That would be cool to know, like beyond. I'm already getting amazing like energy. Just my body is transforming right now. It's
Well,
crazy.
hold on just a second.
Hmm.
Getting immediately that they're saying hello. Right now.
Good.
Compass
Oh,
synchronicities, they're saying hello.
hello.
We never really
Hello.
went anywhere.
I know. I know
We're,
that.
we're with you. You're not ready for physical contact yet.
I'm not ready.
Uh, Perhaps visual contact through illusory phantom apparatuses. So perhaps under medical induction or drug
Wow.
induction, you might say,
Yeah.
um, but not in the. They're saying dimensional awareness that you're in currently, your awake state.
Yeah.
They're very ready to talk and interact with you in dream state, um,
That's good.
which means if you develop lucid dreaming skills, which take almost no time at all to do, uh,
Yeah.
and it's very cheap. It's basically free. But look into lucid dreaming,
Sure.
and they have. Oh gosh, hold on a second. They have exactly 11 subjects they want to share with you.
11 subjects.
And they're
Wow.
actually telling me if I wanted to do it for you, I can talk you through it.
Oh, wow. Right
But
now? Wow.
yeah, right now. But hold on, I didn't sign up for exactly that much time. I'm not sure
Yeah,
what
right?
they mean by 11.
You could come
Um,
back to that.
there's actually one that stepped forward as the main Pleiadian.
That's
She's
my like main contact?
the main one, you might say, is
Yeah.
there's 13 of them that
Okay.
are aware, and I'm going to have to
That makes sense.
explain what exactly they are later.
That
But
makes
let's just
sense.
say the point of contact, not the main one. The point of contact's name is Anna, currently.
Did you say a name?
Yeah, her name is Anna.
Anna. Anna.
That's just a human name. She's not known as Anna to the Pleiadians, but they will know. The faction or specific Pleiadian sort of like grouping that they're associated with are very. Well, it's going to take a while to decipher. You're getting a lot of imagery that explains sort of their role. I'm going to say, cut it off, slow down. This is not going to work. It's too much. It is more along the lines of engineers. Um, they're very action
Wow.
driven people.
Okay.
Um, and unlike a lot of Pleiadians, they might consider other Pleiadians lazy compared to how direct they are. They work with Arcturians, so Arcturians and them actually are very close on a lot of projects. You're fitting in because you've been part of this group in the past,
Right.
in other lifetimes and whatnot. And right now, you're sort of like in a place that they can't get to, so to speak. Um, so,
Yeah. Yeah, I've had a lot harder time. My contact ability decreased so dramatically after the tour when I went back into my urban um
environment.
life pod. Yeah, my urban environment with all the EMF signals and stuff. Oh my God. It's
Okay,
dramatic.
very specific to that, they're giving me instructions for you on how to arrange your space to increase your psychic connection with them.
Awesome.
Um, what you're going to want is you're going to want to buy white sheets or white curtains and hang
Okay.
them in the four corners of the room that you want to have contact with them. Make it so that they're kind of wrinkled and folded. Then what you're going to do is you're going to find 3 crystals, and you're going to have them at the place in the ceiling that's in the actual corner, in the 90-degree corner of the room. And then about 2 to 3 feet away, you'll have another crystal along the edge, and then you'll have the other direction, the other 90 degrees, you'll have another crystal about 2 to 3 feet. It doesn't matter how you get them stuck up there, just have them there. If you have them as terminating crystals, have them point towards the middle of the room. If you have terminating crystals, which means they're pointy, reserve those for the corner, very, very 4 corners. So what you're looking at is 12 crystals. If you don't have 12 crystals, then 4 will be a starting point.
Okay.
But have them pointing towards the middle of the room, where you will establish a place that's comfortable for you to meditate on them. The room is necessary because they need to all be able to get into the room, to huddle in the room with you. It doesn't matter if there's already furniture in there. That doesn't apply to them. It's just be a distraction for you to bridge your mental capacity to see that they're comfortable in the space. So maybe you do have a desk or a couch or a TV, whatever. You'll just want to move those to the side and leave them some space. So the idea is to be in the middle of the room and to reduce the amount of contrast in the room. So if your couch is black, then you'd want to put like a white sheet over it. You'd want to basically make things as pale as possible. If you have a black television in there, then you put like a white sheet over it or something. Or, a white piece of paper, large, paper or something. You can put white clothes. It doesn't matter the quality of it. It just needs to be as little contrasty as possible. So if you want to use your living room, it might not be a good idea if you have so much stuff that provides contrast. But
I have 2.
What's that?
I have 2 rooms, and yeah, I'll figure it out.
Okay, so one of them may work better than the other. Hold on a second.
I have 4 crystals.
The 4 crystals will be a good starting point.
The
crystals don't have to be terminating. They can just be like quartzes. You can find a quartz in a stream. You know what I mean?
Sure. I got some really powerful ones in Texas at Thunder Ranch. Oh my gosh. Wow. That was we were there so long, it was crazy. Is Anna Mara? Did I somehow pick that up wrong along the way, that she is Mara, or is Mara someone else?
That is, hold on a second.
Or Mira, Mara?
Hold on. No, they coordinate with Mara. Mara is like an officer above this group, but there's no hierarchy. There's just sort of like more influential on a larger, broader scale. It's actually Mira.
So it's Mira?
Mira the Pleiadian.
Yeah, that's what. That's crazy.
There's a lot of contact.
She told me that. I was in some really harrowing situations at various places on the road, and on the tour, and I got the name as Mara at one point in a hotel room, and I had never got the name, even though I'd been in contact with this feminine voice really clearly for about 2 years, since I had this meditation moment where I was trying to invoke a mass sighting over my urban area in Minneapolis. I was in like this super deep meditation of just love, and just love, essentially, like not wanting it, just wanting to see them. And I got a sign, a literal light went off.
So Mara and Mira are the same pattern.
Are the same.
It's as good as the same soul that is being.
Wow. Okay, cool.
Mara is the more masculine version of Mira.
Oh, wow.
What you're referring to is actually Mira.
Wow.
Mira is like the version that people call to, and Mara is the one that goes to people. It's almost like the more masculine direct themselves to someone, and Mira is the one that is ready to receive, the female aspect.
Wow, that's really amazing. Yeah, because it's been Mara for me, except for just this one really intense time, probably the most intense time on the whole tour, I started getting a Mira, and then I talked to Heather, she glides by, about it, and I was like, I think my Mara is Mira, like Mira the Pleiadian, and I was like, that can't be right, and I was like, is this the person that other people channel and stuff?
She's seventh through ninth dimensional.
Wow, yeah.
Which means her perspective goes from physical to non-physical.
Yeah.
So it really, when you get to seventh, it becomes, that bridge to androgynous.
Right.
Right.
Well, that would make sense for me.
Sure.
I'm very like split gender-wise, so that would make complete sense.
Just on another note, your broader self is trying to let you know you've been getting information from Osiris as well.
Osiris?
Osiris. Have you been seeing any of that? He doesn't necessarily seem Egyptian. He is just a very direct, wise being. He's a little bit feels like a Vulcan.
Probably when I was doing all of the IUV filings with I mean, that would make sense. Well, like what I've been working on for the last 3 weeks with Tamara has been stuff that my pattern is not normally enthralled with for long periods of time, 8-hour chunks of time doing minutia of paperwork and shuffling around words in particular order and whatnot. Like that's not something that I could normally be able to put a ton of energy into over the course of weeks, and I've been able to do that. So that could be potentially something that was helping me do that. I don't know.
Look up who he is.
Osiris.
Just look him up after the session.
Okay.
And see if that connection makes more sense. Hold on a second.
I've only had one really strong male. Is that a male? Is that androgynous too? That's just super high.
No. Well, a lot of the broader dimensional people tend to be androgynous. But hold on.
Sense, of course.
I'm getting that I didn't give you enough.
Sure. Wow.
Okay, so Osiris is particularly dedicated to your freedom.
My field?
Freedom.
My freedom.
Is very specific to your approach on freedom and your interest to have you experience freedom, which is of sovereignty and independence.
Okay. Well, yeah, that makes complete. That's just like that's like an angelic interface almost.
Yeah. Yeah, he's on the angel level, except he is probably more on the archangel level, but he's not an archangel. He is he's a being that reincarnates a couple times every couple centuries.
Oh wow!
And he's taken direct role in Egypt. And in early, Mesoamerican roles. He has a couple different patterns or lifetimes that are all the same person, but Osiris would come the closest to explaining his disposition.
Nice. Yeah, because I have not been able to get any sort of a grasp on. I have a pretty. I call it angelic because to me it's just completely different from Mara and the Pleiadian interaction, and it always felt the stuff that really, when my body really lights up, and I really feel the energy rippling through my body, which is happens. Like when I used to sing, I used to be a lead singer. Just stuff I'm really comfortable with the transmutation of the. I didn't know what was going on when I was singing when I was younger, and now I know what it is. But now I call that stuff kind of angelic interface, and I've never really got a grasp on it. But it's always been about freedom, total sovereignty, like you just mentioned. So that would make sense. So that would be that Osiris.
Well, he's actually more along the lines of a guardian.
Yeah.
Actually.
So this is what saved my life in so many miraculous situations. It's a combination of different factors, I'm assuming, but I've had like so many brushes with bad experiences in my life that's why and I just can't explain it any other way than it was some, you know, I've had like so many different interventions to get me to where I'm at, and that would be cool to know if that was a primary
Um,
functioning component of that, so I would
just
know that.
just look him up. I feel
Sure.
that he has a lot of depth for you.
Osiris. Cool.
Um, Note that the fastest way to get him to show up is to draw his symbol, his Egyptian symbol.
Okay.
Um, so just put that aside for a moment.
Sure.
On the line of connecting to the 13,
Yeah.
there's actually specific times of day that are better than others.
Okay.
It's going to sound cliche or weird, but at 31 after an hour, 31 minutes after an hour, or 13 minutes after an hour
Sure.
is sort of like a designated way that you should be able to remember to contact them, and so they'll be at a higher receptivity level, and between 13 to 31. That
Okay.
makes sense?
Of
On
course.
every hour, any hour.
Nice. That
There
makes
is,
complete sense to me.
there's really nothing special you have to say. You can call on Anna specifically to sort of come to your mind. If she's saying Anna's good too, if you don't like Anna's good. There is okay, so they're telling me that before you invite them, the room should be cleared. This can be done with incense or sage. Do you know how to do smudging? Are you familiar with smudging?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so smudge your
Definitely.
environment first. That makes it a little healthier for them to show and to be more present. They'll be more present that way and less distracted with your environment. That's part of the reason for making it as white and less contrasty as
Oh,
possible.
I gotcha.
Okay, because the 13, they will sort of holographically type show up. They won't be physical, but they can be very physical.
So I had 3 instances of that on the Opal tour, where I wonder if that was Anna or Mara. I'm sure it had to be one of the two of them. Where I actually saw the figure. One of them was when I was with Natasha's dog, and the dog saw her because he was looking right at her, and we were, and I knew,
I think no,
I knew that he saw her.
This is one of the team. This is Jada.
Jada?
Jada.
Jada.
Something like Jaida.
IDA. Okay.
She's a reconnaissance part of the team. She's sort of like eyes on the ground type of individual Pleiadian. She's probably the one that actually spends the most time on Earth, like physically on the ground itself.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like. I was almost getting a full. I mean, it was close to. Like I said, I was having the moment with Natasha's dog. I was like, I know that he can see you, and then it happened a couple other times. Once out in the woods. So I feel is that something that I'm just
You'll be able to see.
That's happening just because of where I'm at in my density, or like where I'm at in my joy level, or
No,
or are they making it happen?
Mm.
Am I making it happen more than
the dimension that the Pleiadians live within versus the dimensions that the humans live in is that the humans are willing to accept a lot more discomfort and suffering.
Right.
That's
Right.
basically the difference. The Pleiadians do not enter thresholds of particular discomfort very easily, or they're just not able to see it.
So now we go to past life stuff with my mission and my assignment. That's a good segue. Like, so why did I choose as someone who's been Pleiadian at least once, if not many times in past lives, as training for this? Why did I have I experienced what I've experienced?
Let's look at it more on the lines of a Pleiadian consciousness.
Or what did I? Why did I choose to?
The
Okay.
bodies almost don't matter. These
Right.
13 are currently in Pleiadian bodies.
Right.
Okay? But they've
Sure.
been other bodies. They've
Right.
worked together on other planets, environments, and whatnot.
Gotcha.
You're similar to Jada, only you are the key to their ability to even operate. Okay?
Wow. Yeah.
So they
Okay.
can't even operate here without somebody actually being on the inside. So you're
Right.
basically the deep undercover agent,
That's right.
so to speak. Jada is like the next best thing. However, she's not a healer. She is just someone who can gather information that
Right.
you're not gathering.
Right.
They all can be seen to you. They can all be resonant in your visual spectrum. You'll just have to work on that.
Okay.
You just have to work on your visual deprogramming of what
Right.
reality visibly must be for you.
Right.
So exercise, looking at auras to begin with. Exercise feeling energy through your hands and along, your arms and your body. See if you can feel it with your eyes closed when your hand is getting, between 1 inch to 3 inches. If you can feel that difference when it feels like you're pushing a hand against a magnet, that wants to push away. When you can feel the heat with your hands, even though it's body heat, it is still information that actually is not meant to be dismissed. Okay, because when you can sense the body heat, you can begin to sense the body heat of something that's completely invisible. So you're actually building the nerves in your ability to feel physically.
I've been through a ton of nerve distress, to put to as an understatement, like serious nerve distress, and I've almost got it completely. It's almost completely healed, and it was really, really bad like 3 years ago.
Uh-huh.
So that would make complete sense with that resonates really. Our tired favorite word, resonance. That resonates.
Yeah.
Our poor friend resonance. Yeah, that's everything that you just said there is spot on. I've needed that commiseration. I feel like I've been out on this. That's what I told Sierra when I had the breakdown. It's like I've been out on this super deep undercover mission, like solo, for a really long time.
They're wanting to let you know right now, since apparently I'm available and I can speak pretty clearly for what they're wanting to say.
Okay.
And this is Anna speaking. Anna's going to get Mira, and I need to sort of they're letting me know to get a little bit more, even more centered. Just give me a moment.
I've noticed that difference, but I didn't know between Anna and Mara, because there's been times where I knew there was a difference in the energy, but I just pegged them both as like feminine, and I didn't have a solid enough grasp on it. But there were times when it felt like Mara was busy and far away, and then someone else would help me, but I couldn't tell the difference. Someone would talk to me.
It'll become as familiar as different voices are to you.
Yeah, that's exciting. Wow.
Okay, so hold on. I'm actually getting close to channeling Mira right now.
Be quiet.
Just let me focus for just a minute here. Okay, she's here to explain what big picture levels that you'll understand for the moment.
Yay!
Yay. You're on a small boat on a stream. The stream has been dangerous. There's been rapids and rocks through your journey up to this point. There have been opportunities for you to get out on shore and take a break or leave of absence. There have been a lot of adventures that you've been through. This has actually trained you for the adventure that's about to come.
Right.
You haven't even started yet, actually,
Yes.
in relativity. She's,
Right.
hold on. She's wanting you to become very cozy with crystals, especially every green one you can find.
Green crystals?
Green crystals, if you can get a hold of them.
Yeah,
Fluorites often come in green.
green's my energy. That's I can see that sometimes. I get like the plasmic awareness of green energy fields. That's what I always use to do distance healing with my relatives and stuff.
This is what's going to actually take you to the level that you're wanting to be, so that you can start your missions.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, the first
Stuff that
part
I'm
of your
conscious
life.
of, not just in. I'm sorry. Stuff that I'm conscious of, not just in dream state that I have like
Right.
recall of.
No, this will be very awake level. Otherwise, you wouldn't bother having an awake body.
Awesome.
Okay, you've already
Well
done
said.
the unawake stuff.
Right. Yeah. A lot.
Doing the unawake stuff in your dream states and whatnot.
Wow. Okay.
But the more awake stuff is the next level of being profound. The next level of visceral effectiveness that you're bringing.
Nice.
Okay?
Okay. Big picture. Okay. I was listening to the metaphors. It was all good. Green crystals, fluorites. I got it.
You're actually a spotter. Your entire team is a team for spotting things that deserve Pleiadian energy attention.
Right. That's exactly what I do.
Okay? It's not about pointing it out and calling it out as bad and telling people that it's a problem or whatever. It's literally just
Right.
your awareness. You're a data collector, but you're also a discerning data collector, so you can focus in on what the mission is looking for. And
Yeah.
your missions are going to be different. They're going to be involving gathering contextual information, and on another level, the difference between just gathering contextual information and being a human that can do it is that as a
Right.
human, you're more dense than they are on a large degree, so you can actually attract the information much faster than anyone on the team can. Even
Wow.
all of them together couldn't attract the information like you can. It's almost like you can be at the information. That makes more sense.
Yeah, it makes complete. Yeah, I'm just like jaw dropping right now because that's so perfectly stated. I've never really thought about it that way.
You're gonna get a guardian, a nearly 24-hour Pleiadian guardian, very soon.
That's what I was going to ask about actually, because I'm feeling that was one of my questions, protection stuff.
Well, this one is
Wow, that's good.
this is one of the team. His name is something with a B. Hold on.
I don't want to.
It's not a very male name, but his name is Beige.
Nice. Awesome.
Um,
That's great.
he has the ability to see.
Love it.
He basically, what he'll do is he'll feed off your field. He'll feed off your thoughts. He won't feed off it. He'll read your thoughts,
Right.
and he'll basically have spider senses, spider senses, danger senses, and
Yeah.
he'll fend off anything that you're attracting specifically that might be disruptive to your life.
See, that's what just happened. Oh, wow, cool.
So he's been doing this job, but it's really useful for you to know that he exists. Because now you won't feel like things are off. Are you still there?
Yes. Can you
Okay.
hear me?
Yes. So he wanted to let me and you know that he has the ability to literally stop communications like you just did.
Okay.
So he is as physical as it gets without being visible.
Okay. Cool.
So he's non-visible physical.
Okay.
He is probably the Pleiadian with the most expert knowledge of human behavior besides you. you have the greatest understanding of human behavior
Out of this team?
out of this team.
So I'm like
This
14.
You're 14, but it's not. It's 13 assigned to you. You're the mission.
Okay. Oh,
You're the
wow.
center point. So you're actually the commander.
Right, right.
If there
Yeah, I
is
can't this.
if there is any authority here, because you're the one that makes the decisions in the moments, and you're the one that's acting the environment that comes forward per your best interests. And your interests are to continue seeking and following, and this is Mira speaking right now, the progress of humanity.
Right.
Okay? This
Yeah.
progress of humanity, from your point of view, is extremely Pleiadian point of view.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
There is, oh gosh, a lot of, hold on. I'm going to ask to slow down. I want to talk with Mira. She goes a little better at telepathic communication.
Wow. Wow.
You're, I'm going to say you have a lot of preparation yet to go. One is to give yourself at least one or two opportunities per week to ask them to be around you and allow them to heal and work on your body. Okay, so this is the 13 minutes past the hour to 31 minutes past the hour.
Gotcha.
Okay, just they're telling me for the first couple times, maybe the first 5 to 6 times, all you need to do is be calm and just
Sure.
relax, like you're getting a massage, because that's almost what it is.
Right.
Okay, and so they're the medic types of the team. I want to say everything to you. Their medic's name is Julie.
Julie?
Julie, just it's easy because it's close to my name.
Julie.
So
Wow.
she's the healer of the group, and her job is sort of like cheerleader healer. She's giving me the image of like when the coach has you in the corner after a round of boxing. She like cheers you up and takes care of you and massages your shoulders.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So she's probably the one closest to you during those times with the adjustments. But there's one thing that you're going to need to do every night, or please try to, is to sit in the bath for 10 to 15 minutes with as many crystals as you can in the water.
Okay.
You don't have to wash. You can wash if you want to. Just be at a certain level of immersion with water. It can be warm, cold, doesn't matter. It's just water connected with crystals, and you can have just your feet in it. But it's literally like just imagine the water is fairy dust. Okay?
Yeah, I'm water elemental, definitely somewhere, somehow, whatever. I don't know what I'm.
You have
I just
majority water patterns.
yeah. I mean that's my whole deal. That's how I've survived everything. Be like water. Be
But
water.
that level of flexibility, yet level of visceral density is part of what this project looks like. But currently, the project right now is yourself more than anything else.
Right. Yes. That's what I'm trying to get. So these same people have been with me my whole life.
No,
Okay.
they've been preparing for this time.
Okay.
Okay, the ones that have been around you during your life are just the ones that have a vested interest in making sure your mission isn't compromised by you getting tossed too deep into the dirt.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
So
they will
before
not.
the
But they've
I'm
been not
sorry.
willing to interfere because if you felt that you were taken care of in any way in particular too much, then you wouldn't have the tenacity to exist in this density.
Right. Yes.
So you have to be that sort of like commanding presence, so to speak.
God, man. Yeah. That's confirming like a ton of stuff that so so here's, I mean, the big stuff, like, who was I most recently? I mean, who am I that I became this, that I volunteered for this? I
So
don't
you
know.
were seventh dimensional Pleiadian like Mira is, just not
I
quite with the larger perspective like she does.
Okay.
Okay, you were actually a disseminator of information.
That's pretty
Uh,
formless, right? Seventh
what's that?
dimension?
No,
Pretty
no,
formless.
no.
Seventh
Seventh
dimension?
dimensional
No,
form. Seventh dimensional with form.
has form. So I knew Mira.
Yeah, you basically were acquaintances
Okay.
within the Pleiadian collective.
Okay.
But you didn't. When you're seventh dimensional, you're almost like your own reality.
Right.
You really don't require much from the others.
Right, of course.
It's the last point
That would make sense.
of working with physical, and it's the connection to the much, much non-physical levels. You see, there's lots of entities that would be considered seventh dimensional in sort of like energetic form, but they're actually very evil, right? So they're very, very narrow spectrum of existence. And
Yeah.
the reason why people and beings of light like Pleiadians even interact or even have an existence that involves such dense creatures like archons and whatnot is so that they can explore reality more. In fact, that's
Right.
what Earth is really about, is exploring the intensity of this space.
Right. So did I want to do that all in like one life? Because I've had like the whole gamut in 40 years. Is it,
You
how many times
actually,
have I incarnated into these like
you've had
forms?
several, no, you've had several human lives, but the aspect of your Pleiadian consciousness was not as downloaded as it is now.
Okay, so I wanted to maximize my experience scope, and also, did I have a ton of like karmic stuff to burn through as well, or was it mostly I just
No,
wanted to experience stuff?
no, hold on. They want to be very clear about the karmic stuff. The karmic stuff was your training wheels to get you used to living and being a part of the reality of this space. You actually don't have any karmas if you just decide that you're done with your training wheels.
Right.
Okay? What you understand as karma are the challenges you've put forth so that you can rise beyond using those experiences as training wheels.
Right.
You have to remember that although you're on a mission, to a degree it's a mission, you're really still on the path of exploration of your consciousness, an
Right.
expansion of your awareness, expansion of all that you are. And in
Ultimately,
this
yeah.
plane of Earth, you're not here to remove the darkness. Okay?
Right.
You're here to understand it and to
I've
make
only got that in
sense
the
of
last
it
two
because
years.
it's not hanging around for much longer. So you're trying to like soak in all those reasons why it existed and persisted.
Oh,
Okay?
yeah, yeah, I was in that. I was in that.
Yes. And you've had other lifetimes with it too. But if you can understand that time really doesn't matter, that we can say your past life was a physical Pleiadian, and we can say your past
Right.
life was three other humans, that's actually only
Of
two other
course.
humans. They
Two
happened
other
all
humans?
at the right time. Yeah, they were
Two other humans? I'm sorry, two other humans?
humans, and they were both females. One was the one that wanted to know what the family meant, what family patterns were supposed to be with regards to holding groups of people together and taking care of them, which is the grounding training that you need in order to be able to operate here. So female parents and sort of like caregivers become grounders to this space because you were not as much of a grounder as you thought you were. And then in
Right.
your other lifetime, we'll just say happened at the same time. This one was the one that learned the math of this space, basically the rules of how things operate, the physics, establish and follow through with what all the discoveries were that humans made relative to what was already known, so that you have the context of not stepping over your bounds. And so in this life is the one where you've actually pressed up against as much difficulty as you can, so you can determine exactly what your threshold is for contrast, because it's one of the scariest things for a Pleiadian to do is to find out how far they can go. And and your objective was to actually invite lots of you might call them karmas, but they weren't. They were literal invitations that you had to go through because you didn't want to let go of your bigger picture. So you went through a lot of intensity, and so now after all that intensity, you know exactly what you're capable of. You know exactly what you'd rather not do again. But what it comes down to is because of all that, you can look back and you can look forward and you can see much contrast for what it is. And then you share that sort of like already chewed experience, and you can regurgitate that and sort of share that without people having to go through it firsthand.
Right.
See, the Pleiadians, they don't want to go through what Earth has been through. Many of them have already done that, but most of the incarnations as Pleiadian really are not interested.
So why did I volunteer for that? Why did I want to experience this again?
You volunteered to sort of like buffer the Pleiadian introduction.
Right. I'm a first contact person, right? Like a transition person.
You're a transition person, but you're not what you're thinking.
Not what I'm thinking.
This transition person is for the Pleiadians, not for the humans.
Oh, right.
Okay?
Right.
So, although you have a very human life, you don't realize how much you're doing. You know this camera that I have around me?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yours is like 10 times more advanced.
The camera?
You don't have a camera. You have like a whole holographic representation on a ship somewhere.
Right.
And people can just walk in and look around. And when they do that, they try to not interfere because if you were more psychic, you'd see them watching you.
Right.
Imagine that you're on the holodeck of a ship, and they can come in, and you just don't see them.
Gotcha.
Makes sense?
Yes.
Because they get the holographic outpouring of what all your senses are picking up. And so it's almost like the visual is very clear to me, but it's going to be hard to explain. When you look around and you gaze,
yeah,
what you remember being there is projected into a visual spectrum in a hologram machine. Right? So if you walk into a room and you never know what's in there, like it's dark, they see it as dark. Okay?
Okay.
You turn on the light, now they can see. If you stand at a subway and you don't know what's behind you, besides what you can hear, they get only as much as you're able to observe and perceive. So if somebody's walking behind you but you don't know what they look like, they won't know what it looks like either.
Right.
Okay, so that's what the 13 are here. They're here to complete a lot more of the picture. Well, not all 13, but they're part of this role of you being a human interface. Now, as you are able to develop more telepathic ability, you may decide to become two-way.
I may decide to become what?
A two-way communicator of information.
Oh.
What I'm doing.
I see. I gotcha. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, that makes complete sense. I've never thought about it that way.
Now, there's one more thing. This is not exclusive to Pleiadians. What the Pleiadians are doing right now is they're sharing all this and working in tandem with other galactic races. Now, they have all these different sort of mission names, but the one that they know it as that makes sense to me as I say it is just Mission Earth.
Mission Earth.
And it's not like a mission like there's something wrong.
Right.
It's sort of like mission. We're hoping this can be our new vacation home.
Yeah, that's all. I'm just like a major Gaia protector energy. That's all I have ever wanted to do, and everything else is filled in from there, pretty much. I just don't. I feel like that's like my big. I feel like this deep elemental commitment. Like it wasn't just that I wanted to have. That's why I wondered about past lives and stuff. Not that I just came here to have some experiences or whatever. There's some like super deep. I don't know what it is. I mean, obviously she's Mother Earth to all of us, but
She's a person.
right.
And
Yeah, that's why I've always felt like this sisterhood. With it's almost like I'm inhabiting someone in my direct family. I guess I don't know.
Well,
That makes sense.
Anna's saying that why don't you go talk to her?
Yeah.
Just talk out loud.
Right.
Just go in a place where you don't look like you're a kook for talking out loud. Talk out loud and stand in your bare feet on the grass or the earth.
Yeah.
And just talk out loud and feel what comes. And actually, my sense is that, and what they're saying, is that it'll be pretty clear for you what you'll be able to hear from it.
Right.
You know, there's no question Gaia doesn't answer. But you'll note that she still is multi-aware, so she'll answer precisely on what you're able to understand in the moment.
Right.
So it's not meant to be very mysterious.
Right.
She might stretch you out to get you to think.
So just to go back a second, thank you for that. That's really great. So I'm just kind of in infinite patience mode, right? Continuously, forever, it seems like, as everyone is. But for what's going on with what you were just talking about with the transition thing, I'm just trying to figure out what the end. Where am I where I'm supposed to be at? I mean, obviously you're always where you're supposed to be at. You're there. I mean, that's why I haven't left Minnesota. I've got 15 years of equity in here. But
you're talking about physical location on Earth.
Well, like what am I in terms of like open contact type stuff where I've been foreseeing myself as one of the communicators to people about everybody calm down, I know what's going on, yada 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 type of person. If that makes sense.
That's not this phase.
Well, I know, not right now. It's not, but is that going to be, or am I not? Should I not even be thinking about that?
You know the 11 different subjects.
Yes.
Yeah, those are the 11 different phases, and the first phase starts as soon as you're ready, which is basically now.
Okay. Okay.
And so the phases, if you want to get ahead of yourself, you're going to create anxiety and angst.
Yeah, I don't want to end game.
Well, not end game, but
end gain. I call it end gaining, where you like start thinking about stuff in the future and get out of the moment. It's bad.
This phase, this phase, and the next two phases. Okay, I can tell you up to the third phase. I'm getting it.
Okay.
First phase is.
I haven't even been through one phase yet. Oh my goodness.
No, this is the phase before. This is the phase of now. All phases are in the now.
That was the training, yeah.
Yeah. No, you call it training, or you can call it the development, so that you can get to a jogging pace with things.
Right. Okay, that's good.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It actually started last year, apparently.
Right.
So the first phase is gathering information. It's gathering the just sort of like the data of what has actually happened here. And so just imagine that you're telling the story to people from a country that have never heard any of this stuff, and you don't have to tell them about it. You just need to find good sources of information and read it, right? And your feelings as you read it will contextualize the importance of certain things based on you being a human and what matters to you as a human.
Right.
Okay, so as you read it, you have different feelings. You don't understand. You're actually representing a Pleiadian reading this. So
right, I can do that.
Feelings are applicable. So if you don't give a crap about something, then that's not useful information.
Right. I can read in that classic the Bringers of the Dawn voice. I can do that voice. I can read anything in that voice. I do that all the time. We did that on the Opal tour all the time around the campfire.
Mm.
Whitney and I can both do that. That totally. That unflappable like calmness. It just has that cadence to it. So that's really. I should be trying to do that maybe on the radio show once in a while. Is that what you're saying?
No, you don't have to do anything involving anyone else.
Just reading out loud by myself.
You don't even have to read out loud. You
Okay.
just digest whatever information that you come to. Or that
Oh, right. Because I'm sending it back to a holographic thing on a ship
yes,
somewhere.
it's all, everything in your brain is...
I never thought about that way before.
See.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, they can have, the Pleiadians that are around me have a certain idea of what I'm thinking. But on your level, it's like, it's no mystery.
Wow. Okay.
Okay?
So is that why I was subject to so much? That would make sense as to why certain elements of the Matrix that have been kind of pernicious have been focused on me. That was part of my volunteering of the role, the commander thing, because I knew I was going to be subject to a lot of counteracting effects because of that capacity, right? That makes sense to me.
It's a lot like the best man goes in. And,
yeah, and
to be honest, a lot of them didn't have the same kind of courage that you do. So on one level, you actually kind of are like the respected hero. Let's give them all the backup we can.
Man.
But that hasn't started until you can be introduced. The first phase is that collecting data. It'll be like that for the first 3 phases.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
But the first phase also includes you getting in shape. And this means adjusting your field. This means, retaining a level of high passion in life. There's nothing that you can do that's wrong. If you want to feel like you want to go out and just, reconstruct the boat or something like that, or do some painting or whatever, that is literally the proclivity for you raising your energetic state. You need to have these things.
Yeah.
Okay? There is no right and wrong. There's only what feels good. And as long as you're doing what feels good, then you're building your resonant field. You need to really raise that resonant field. That that comes from
my quantum physicality. You mean? Is that what you're?
I'm talking about the purity of your energy field, because the less energetic blockages you have, the more energy you have available on hand to handle larger tasks.
So my body's been racked with those. So what is that about?
That is.
I've been dealing. I was born with many.
They're just programs that you have to accept in order to operate here without having without sticking out like a sore thumb.
Right.
Okay? So you have to pretend to be human. That's what you've been doing. Now it's basically saying, don't bother to pretend to be human anymore.
My body is like exploding. I feel like my body physically is expanding just in the last week and like building up to the 17th, this Pleiadian portal.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like I'm getting bigger, and there's all these weird structural adjustments going on spontaneously. I feel like I'm kind of beat up, like I've been in a car crash or something. My left knee, something weird's going on with my left knee. I can't figure out exactly.
Your body will go through phases of using that energy for very specific upgrades of your physical organs and body. Yeah. And it may draw energy from your entire body, but it will do that only when it believes that those upgrades will not detract from your ability to maintain a level of energy.
Right.
Think of it as
I feel strong. It's just
45% energy complete, and you raise your energy up to like 55%, well, that 10% can be reinvested to upgrade a part of your body so that it's easier to go from 45 to 55 in the future.
Right.
Okay? So that generally raise yourself up to 55, and your 55 is your new normal.
Right.
You don't get below 55. And the number itself is representative, the percentage of how joyful you are during your waking hours. If you're at 55, that means you're more on the side of smiling than below 50%, which is more likely not
Right.
smiling. So you're actually it just works out that you actually are transitioning, and you've been bouncing between the 45 to about 65 at your highest level of enjoyment and passion. And
So
what I'm saying is that you want to keep that the lowest level of discomfort off the grid.
So then I'm leaving a lot of my lower density. That's what I got on the message on the
Lower
Opal
density
tour.
issues.
I don't have to have as many these are terrestrial terms from our cultural heritage, but as many assignments or projects or missions or whatever in the lower densities anymore.
No, you really don't actually have any.
And that's right. And that's so, I was there, I had so many for so long. That's been really, really hard to fully embody and like understand, I guess.
Yeah,
That makes
you
sense.
actually can't speak with other people if you're not able to relate to the challenges they go through.
Right.
Okay, so you have to actually they have to believe that you're human.
Right.
Okay?
Right. You can't just have had like a perfect unscathed life or whatever.
Right. People don't empathize with that.
I definitely haven't had that. So yeah,
But
yeah, I can.
this space, it's not even about other people.
Right. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's been the biggest thing for me with the whole Opal tour was about that. It was. I kept getting the messages from all these Pleiadians and Osiris or whatever my angelic interface is. If it's Osiris, if that's what that entity is that I feel that's really positive and has like physically gives me like crazy energy that's not always there normally. I kept getting that message.
And the 13 do prayers for you from time to time. Most of the work is with you when you're asleep, though.
Right.
They're reminding me to make sure that you get 6.5 hours of sleep every night.
6.5 hours?
Just as a minimum.
As a minimum. That's good. Okay.
6 hours and 41 minutes. But the close is good enough.
6 hours and 41 minutes. So I'm getting 44s everywhere the last few days. That's a good thing, right? I mean, it's crazy. There's the amount of 44s I'm getting. Since I did the paperwork, we didn't even get to really talk about that. Is everything cool with what I did with the sovereignty filings with
The
Tamara?
sovereignty filings are not even about the end result of what comes of them. Sovereignty filings are for your level of balance and you basically realizing how much control you have over your reality.
Right.
It's not even about the end result. The end result does drive you, which is convenient, but the bigger end result is actually much more profound than you know it seems.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's part of the triggering of all this physical and why I'm talking to you right now. You know, like the whole everything with signing those documents and putting my thumbprints on them and everything. It was intense. I feel like I'm out. I feel like I'm totally untethered to anything that I knew before since that happened, and it's kind of been like a little disconcerting here and there, which I'm not used to, feeling like I don't know my way because it's so new, right? It's real. It's like a real freedom.
It's like coming out of high school and not knowing what career lies in front of you. You're sort of like, I've graduated. Now I could go to college. I could keep doing this, or I could get a job, or I could take a year off, or I could, whatever.
Wow.
It's a phase. The phases will continue. The second phase is going to be more along the lines of you actually building high levels of sensitivity. First phase is more for your body getting back in optimal shape, and your mental state is part of your body.
Right.
Second phase involves you actually beginning to develop extra sensory sensitivity. And the third phase you're going to be working almost on a daily basis what your missions will be with the team. The phases don't have dates.
Sure.
They're on your level of preparedness. And basically, by the point of getting to the third phase, you really, you wouldn't need someone like me around.
Gotcha.
Okay? Do automatic writing if you want to get additional information. Do lucid dreaming so that you can enjoy very directly your Pleiadian team and friends.
Oh, cool.
And invite them, of course. Try to, as often as you can, but it doesn't have to be that often, once or twice a week, to work on your body.
Right.
Make sure that there's no sort of like energy leaks and whatnot. What an energy leak is sort of like a notion that can rip you down, like you could have like a really great relationship or something, but then like the other person can cheat on you or something like that, and just because it's called cheating, it can destroy your life. But really, there's nothing wrong with cheating if you know what it really is. So the things like this.
It's a program, yeah.
Right. So these leaks are basically things that will drain your energy. If you think, someone's cheating on you, oh my God, you're just gonna go back down to your average level. So your average level is actually something that can be quite grounded, you see. There's no need to have the super wishy-washy drama. You can actually raise your overall life. But it needs to be held when you get there. And that is letting go of all these things that can drain you back to an old pattern. That's really what the old system's objective was, is to make sure that there's enough ways to pull you back to the range where you're only about 30 to 45% effective.
Right, that's what I wanted to add. I lost that thread from earlier. That was a key point that came up, and then it skipped out of my mind. But when I was saying I don't have to do the lower density work anymore, I mean, it's that instant manifestation thing, right? Or sometimes, like right when I was someone came into my life, for example, over the weekend that could have easily and did almost screw up me getting the mailings off, which I had been working on for like 3 weeks, the filings. And they just showed up out of the blue, and someone that I don't feel the same way about, especially since the Opal tour and all the stuff that's happened. And it was almost like it was presenting me. Was I being presented with a choice, or did I draw that to me, or did someone try to energetically throw me off course there, some other entity, by manipulating her by chance, based on like what I know, their family background and stuff? I mean, it's all a combination.
Look at it this way. Everything is intentional.
Right.
Okay?
It's bad.
No accidents. Even though you're behind a veil and you don't know exactly what prompted it, and you don't know what you did, you don't know what transpired exactly.
Yeah.
Flowing through the experience is the most important part of it.
Right.
Being in that moment. Okay? Going back over experiences is not as useful.
Right, of course.
But specific to what happened last weekend, there are basically tests for you to see just how steady your legs are.
Right.
That's all it is.
That's exactly what just happened.
Because that's sort of like, okay, am I okay with living at 55% energy now? Let's see. Let's see if there's anything that can topple me down from having 55% energy. By the way, nobody gets past like 75%. Always happy. Unless you're Mother Teresa or something.
Right. Okay.
Only people that are like saints practically get over 75% happy threshold. Because those people really don't have anything to do but feel happy all the time.
Oh yeah, that's what I've had. I mean, that's when my well, so many things happen, but that's part of that was part of the flow of how my awareness started to become open to telepathic communication, was because of me being in such a bliss state, such a state of gratitude all the time. for just
Yeah.
having being alive and feeling really, really grateful every day because of all the stuff I've survived. And I had this awakening, you know, starting around 2011, of where I just saw how miraculous all of the things I had survived that I had, and I just started getting in this really perpetual state of gratitude about it. And that's when the Pleiadian contact started getting much more open and obvious, conspicuous.
Well, excellent. But
Thanks.
I'm going to let you go now,
Yeah,
and I'll give you a link to this recording a little bit later.
I'm so grateful, Julien. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Oh my goodness.
So I hope there's been enough insight for you to feel like you can take a step forward with.
Oh, I've just been feeling really alone, out on the limb with what I just did with the filings, because on the terrestrial plane, it's really, it's out there kind of. So it's good to feel all these other presences.
That's right.
I needed that.